myself and Professor Ganguly. We are the coordinators for the course. I'd like to welcome Dr. Sunita Verma, who is online with us. She's Scientist G and Group Coordinator from the Ministry of Electronics. Delegates from Applied Materials. We also have the INUP program, which is the Indian Nanoelectronics Users Program, funded by the Ministry of Electronics and run at IIT Bombay, which is a partner for the course, and the IESA, which is a promotional partner for the course. Just to give you a quick idea about the statistics before we go to the inauguration. Bharat, can you move to the next slide? The next one. So just to give you a quick idea, we received, despite the very short notice at which we launched the course, where we'll take the participants to the IIT Bombay nanofabrication facility and introduce them to various advanced semiconductor processing techniques. We have not only faculty from IIT Bombay that are giving lectures, but we also have experts from both global foundries and applied materials who are going to offer their insights into the semiconductor domain, both from the equipment and process perspectives. So this gives you an overview of what we are offering in this very tightly packed 5 days. So we started off this morning with 2 sessions, and now here we are with the inauguration ceremony. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Sunita Verma to inaugurate the course. Bharat, can you move to the screen? You can stop sharing. Yeah, Dr. Sunita Verma from Ministry of Electronics, welcome. Ma'am, we would like you to inaugurate the course and share your thoughts on this course that we are offering.
Our secretary, Shri Alkesh Kumar Sharma ji, was supposed to be inaugurating this session, but due to some urgent meeting, he could be here, but he was very keen on listening to you all, and he's very interested, and he sent his all the good wishes for this course to be a success. So just looking at the present scenario that is going on in the country, we are at the point of inflection where we are looking at the big semiconductor industries coming in. We recently announced Micron Fab, that is for ATMP, and we have many more offers which are coming in, and not only for ATMP but for other proposals also under the Semicon policy. And the design linked incentive scheme that is under the Semicon policy, that also has seen about 12 proposals, and we have already approved about 6 of them. So I think we see that the circumstances, the geopolitical situation, looking at the young engineers or researchers that are there in the country, and with the big announcement and support by the government, this is the right time when the government is looking at the skilling, capacity building of in the area of semiconductor at all levels. And since I feel that the capacity building or the skill does not come with just 1 or 2 years of experience, it has to be, it requires years of dedicated research and continuous work. So that is why I feel that this course is aptly built to actually look at the various levels of the trainings, right from the very basic level in the semiconductor to the highest level of training. So we have 3 types of trainings that we have. And I am very happy to see that this training is specially for the in collaboration with the industry. So this is giving a very good indication that the courses are being well received, and there is a overwhelming response, and the industry is going to participate, and these courses will be very useful for not only our researchers but also the industry participants. I think we have a good number of industry participants also in this course. So when we started the nanotechnology centers, the 6 centers that have been established, and after that the Indian Nano Electronics Users Program, INUP, the purpose was that the facilities of the nano centers, the state of the art centers, are available to the researchers across the country. And this, I think, in the last 2 phases of INUP, we have been very successful in getting good research projects, patents, publications through the INUP program. And I think this is now being taken to the next level in this INUP phase, where we are not only supporting the researchers, and but we are also looking at a hub and spoke model, where the all our 5 centers, nano centers, will be supporting other different other institutions for building expertise and know-how for research and publications in the field of nanotechnology. With our fab incentive that has been announced, I feel that we are at we'll be very soon getting a good fab in our country, and for that our manpower has to be ready. And I think our nano centers are going to contribute, and are contributing in a very good way in developing this expertise. And we have Applied Materials and Global Foundries as one of the partners, which itself says that yes, we are going to develop good expertise for the fabs which are going to come in, and also for the tools and equipment which will be used in the fab. Having said that, I feel that this is a very good initiative. I thank our industry partners who will be there for the course, not only in formulation of the course, but also I am told that they will be part of the lecture sessions, the hands-on sessions, which will give a very practical aspect to what is actually required. And with our facility and the center, nano center at IIT Bombay, I think it will complete the overall experience of the participants. So with that, I will not take much time, and I hope that the vision with which the government has started, that we are not only looking at the Indian requirements but also the global requirements. Let us be the talent hub for the semiconductors, for the global requirements, and also build our own very strong industry here. So with this, I feel that this course is a step towards what we want to achieve, and I wish it all the best. And with the ISM and with the global foundries and applied materials as part of this, I feel that this course will be very useful for all the participants, and they will be actually become one of our teachers or our leaders for the next courses that will be taken up by under the INUP program. Thank you, and I inaugurate this session, this workshop of IIT Bombay, this 5 days semiconductor manufacturing course, and I wish all the participants and our all the lecturers and our IIT Bombay team, our industry team, all the best. Thank you.
What is the X factor? So I just wanted to know from Udayan. So he said, anything which gives solution to semiconductor problem is X. So we can include all that under X. So IIT Bombay has about 30 academic and research centers, and CEMIX is the one of the latest, or I would say newborn baby in our centers of excellence. Though this is a new one, but it has a rich history. So if you look back, in 90s, we had a Center of Excellence on Microelectronics. So that evolved into nanoelectronics, and based on these two strong platforms, so now we are going to start a big center which will play a very, very important role in IIT Bombay. So that is semiconductor CEMIX. And as a part of our country's goal to become a leading nation in semiconductor manufacturing, I think CEMIX has a very, very important role to play. This is the first step in giving a course on semiconductor manufacturing. I am sure all of you will benefit from this course. I am happy that this program is jointly organized by our academia people as well as from industries, because it's very, very important to know from horse's mouth. So where it is being utilized, so you should get exposure from industries as well. So this course from this point of view is a very promising step, and I am sure the participants will find it very useful. And when you have free time, please do visit various departments, particularly the CN facilities, where we have really very nice facilities which is open to all for use. So I wish this short course as a first step as well as a grand success. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kaliappan. We continue from here, and I invite Udayan.
Academics definitely produces talent. The talent goes into the industry. Academia also produces ideas, right? And some of the ideas pave the way or helps the industry choose the right path, right? So we at CEMIX have two major focus. So one is this industry affiliate program. What is the industry affiliate program? We are trying to ensure that there is a standard platform with which industries can engage in a systematic manner with IIT Bombay from three perspectives. So one is research, the second is training, and the third is entrepreneurship, right? So what do we have in that? The first one happens to be that, whenever somebody comes to IIT Bombay and they want to see what's going on in the labs, we are not ready to put on our show, right? Because we are doing our work, we are taking classes. So how do we do that? So we think the best way to do this is to have an open research day. That day, half a day, what we'll have is that we will have seminars, we have demonstrations, we will show our labs, everybody will be ready. The next half would be a deliberation session. Whatever you see as a bunch of industry folks, you take off maybe your own personal industry hats off or keep them half on, right? And think broader and ask yourself, where should we go as a team? Right, so that's the second part. So half of it is strategy. Half of it is sort of an open house demonstration. The second half is strategy. The second piece is the career day. So why is semiconductors cool, right? How do we pitch this to the students, right? And we know that we have world-class students. We should get even more students in. That's half the battle. The other half is to retain them. right? So, and for us, you know, we have our rock stars in the technology space, but we don't celebrate them openly enough. So what is the way to do that? That is the second part, half a day. The companies will bring in what makes semiconductors an exciting career. And the second half, we'll ask the question, how do we improve the talent pool? Right? Is there a systematic way? I mean, today there's a big problem, you know. At the input, we just get whoever we get. We have a very small set of people who we need. At the output, companies really want people to come and, you know, work for them, right? There's an input-output problem. And I think we need to look at the life cycle of the student in some coherent manner. The last piece is entrepreneurship. I won't talk about it because it's a really difficult problem. And I'll stop here. Yeah, and training, I think, is part of the second piece, which is the career day and the talent. Okay, Swaroop.
I'm trying to stand away from you. Okay, over to Srinivas. Srinivas, so...
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. Again, I'm with Applied Materials. We've been a partner with IIT Bombay for 17 years or so already, long history. Worked with many professors, many students here. Even this afternoon, as I was coming in, there was a lot of traffic. I was pulling out my phone to show the gate pass to the security person. When he recognized me and he said, Applied Materials, go. When that person recognizes you as one, you know you hit the mark of being a true partner here in IIT Bombay. So it felt great to get an easy entry through the thing. But that apart, we have our own lab here. We have 60 plus of our employees working closely with IIT Bombay staff and students. So it's a privilege for us to be part of this team here. He asked me to speak a little bit about how Applied is looking at the whole industry and the innovative, inclusive innovation concept. I'll just say a couple of things before that, right? Just a week and a half back, I was in the US. For all the students here in this room who are considering or embarking on this career field in this industry, I think you are entering this industry at a fabulous, fabulous time. There is so much of excitement and so much of momentum behind this industry and the ecosystem in this country. I'm truly envious of folks who are in their 20s and 30s who will play a big role in the next decade and 2 decades in this industry. Just to, as an anecdote, right, when I was in DC, we had a meeting with Prime Minister Modi when he was meeting with the US government. He met with 3 companies in a one-on-one capacity. Of course, Prime Minister had many other engagements, but he wanted to meet specifically with a few companies. 2 out of those 3 companies were semiconductor companies, not the big, you know, the traditional Microsofts and Googles, which of course they are big and they have a lot of investments in India, but Prime Minister Modi chose to meet with companies who are truly enabling manufacturing and the ecosystem here. So that's a very positive sign for the industry and all of you here in the room. So what Applied has done is we are realizing that the complexity in the industry and the speed which is required, no single country or no single company can do everything that is needed. We are seeing what is happening globally with restrictions from one country to another. It's not just that it's punishing one particular geography, right? It is putting restrictions on many of us in how we operate, and that free flow of ideas, tools, technologies is all getting hampered. So it's becoming increasingly clear that no one company can do everything that they want. So we've recently announced a $4 billion investment in the US to set up a new lab which brings together, of course, the applied technology, but also many of our peers, even Tokyo Electron, who is one of our key competitors, we do expect them to come and participate in the lab because they have certain pieces which we don't have. Similarly, customers have also signed up to be co-located in one specific location to drive the R&D in a much faster manner. And what we are also doing is we We recently announced a $400 million investment here in India. In Bangalore, we are opening up a new lab. Along very similar lines, we intend to have targeted space for universities, targeted space for some of our critical suppliers. If you look at as you go through the course in the next 2-3 days, you will also understand this. The semiconductor equipment where all the magic happens, it happens because there are some incredible pieces of technology which go into it. Udayan talked about RF earlier, right? It's not a simple RF thing. The precision and the complexity is incredibly high. So we are bringing together all these suppliers to India, global suppliers, and being part of a lab co-located to drive this innovation and product development faster and faster. There will be space for universities as well. One of the things we are seeing even in the US, many of the concepts which are coming out of universities, they don't really transition as seamlessly to your industry, if you don't mind my saying, right? So we want to give that capability even for universities to test out their brilliant ideas, which in a lab environment looks great, but how do you transition it to high volume, complex environment? So that's the kind of investment we are making both in the US and in India. And to me, it's very synergistic with what SemiX is. As the university and all the students here come up with more ideas, which hopefully get validated in a lab environment, we hope to be the first place that they come to trial it out in a high volume manufacturing environment, which is good for the industry, good for us, good for the manufacturers and so on. So it's an exciting time. I wish you all the very best for it. Half my time went away in that one, but why do we like to partner with universities? I think one, it brings a certain amount of credibility and sustenance. Industries will go through cycles, industries will go through, different business priorities and so on. Talent development is not a one-time thing or a short-term thing. It takes a certain amount of persistence, it takes a certain amount of the right mindset to keep going at it, build at it continuously, which I think universities are the place for that kind of an environment. And frankly, it's also an investment for us because it gives us the talent pipeline that we very much would like to take it, dip into that talent pipeline on an ongoing basis. So that's the reason partnerships with universities, provided they are also focused on the right quality, give the right rigor. You don't want programs which are just, checking the box to meet certain number of hours or things like that. The output has to be industry ready, with the right rigor and discipline. If the universities are able to provide it, it's a win-win for us.
Thank you, Srinivas. You actually made up some time there. JC, I'm kind of going to continue in that same vein. So not just from the Global Foundries perspective, but industry-wide perspective. What should the training roadmap be? Honestly, when we looked at the capacity building targets for ISM, we need to really up our game. We need to do things we have not done before. What do you need from academia when it comes to training for the industry? Given what you and the industry want to achieve here, what should we be doing?
Okay. See, I see some of the students here, right, who are part of this course. Is that correct? Yeah. So I'll answer it. See, if you are sitting in the room, I think half of it you already know. I may be repeating myself on semiconductor, what technologies you should work on, what knowledge you should have. I'll give you a generic answer on what I genuinely feel, what academia should train people on. Apart from the semiconductor knowledge, what you will learn in the course, if the academia can also help each of us, and I'm including myself because I need that help, how we can develop our independent thought process on subjects. Today we are, so much bombarded by the same WhatsApp news information and generic information that everybody has. How do we take that and create our own thought process and be able to differentiate on what we can present either to the society or to our companies and so on and so forth. I think I would highly recommend somehow we try to do that. The second one I would say, how do we become dependable people? How the people sitting here can depend on me, how my family can depend on me or my friends can depend on me. I think that trait and the skill is highly not appreciated today, and that is very much needed in today's environment of where the social media, where the digital education is going on. And then last one, I would say, there is no replacement to having the highest level of ethics and standards that you can develop. And sometimes, as a society, I will tell you, I will confess, I was not best at it when I came out into the industry to work from India. And I tell the students, I think the faster you can gain that, the faster you can go ahead as far as your careers are concerned. So I'm not giving you the technical answer, but those are the three things I'm genuinely very passionate about. Every student who is coming out should develop and come.
Thank you so much, JC. I have a question for Ashok now. Ashok, you are saying that our big Indian corporate houses are all looking at semiconductors. Very welcome news, of course, but I'll have more or less the same question, that how do we sort of fulfill then the talent development requirement that comes up. I mean, it's a terrific opportunity. At the same time, the other side of the coin is that it's a challenge. What do you suggest?
Yeah. So I don't think that I have a very good answer of it, right? I think the need for talent in a country like India, where we have been supplying talent to probably we are the biggest exporter of talent, right? Is still a very big problem to tackle, right? And I firmly believe that quality breeds quality. I do not find anything wrong with the students, with the kids coming in the education system, right? And of course we can find fault with our education system. And rather than finding fault, I would say that we should look at what has worked well. Definitely something has worked well, that entire world comes to India to shop for talent, right? So there is this. It's not that everything is wrong what we have got, right? But I think one fundamental thing when I go to tier 2, tier 3 colleges, right? You would expect that students will come and ask for job, right? But invariably the teachers will come and ask for job. And if you talk to them, on paper they are getting salaries of 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, but in reality they are getting 25,000 rupees, right? Now here we have Udayan, sitting and teaching in IIT Mumbai. If he wouldn't have joined IIT Mumbai, he may be the CEO of a unicorn. Swaroop, you would have been probably done the MBA from Ivy League college. You would have been running a fund, right? Now people like you, right, who chose all that materialistic thing and came on this spiritual journey, teaching. I think there's a lot of credit goes to all this. I mean, I would like all of you to clap for the terrific teachers here, right? How can I take a Swaroop or a Udayan and do something that instead of you guys teaching, few hundreds in IIT Mumbai, teach few lakhs across the country? I really do not have a very good answer of how to do it, but I think that is the biggest challenge, or I would say, if we somehow we manage to do it. Now you said that you can only teach 48 students this present course, right? How to teach it to 48,000, right? I think something which we have to do to train the faculty program, right? Now, but train the faculty doesn't happen with a 1-week workshop, unfortunately, right? I don't have a good answer, but that is what I would like to say.
Actually, I think you have given us some good answers there. So, yeah, are there any audience questions? A couple of quick questions. Yes, please, you can use this one. It's all right. So that everyone can hear you. Please quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am Nagarajan. I am from Government of Gujarat. I have worked with a lot of interacted with these semiconductor local industry and entrepreneurs. So my question is, one interaction we had, just like that with the association electronics, they mentioned that what is the point at which consumer electronics or some product company will think about chip level optimization. So that time they said that if it's 1 million units per year, they should go for, or they will certainly be forced to think at that level. So what do you think should be the trigger for this kind of thinking for the consumer electronic companies? And second question about this scaling the talent. The overall the electronics, B.Tech electronics, the admission is coming down. At least in Gujarat state, I have figures. I am sure that it is a thing. While the industry is going on the north side, the intake is going on the downside. So there will be a big gap that is coming up. And I want to understand what is the type of students, say diploma or engineering or even top class engineering, say IIT Bombay. Highest number of chunk of jobs will be created for which kind of people? Which kind of students, or who has the highest chance of getting benefit in this coming 3 to 5 years, say through a 6 months bridge course and all that. So these two opportunities I want to understand.
First one, we should the optimization of consumer electronics.
Right. I think it starts to make sense at certain volumes for sure, right? I mean, if I'm doing a product which I'm going to sell only 500 units, right? Even if I need to have a aspiration of optimizing it to the last level, I won't do it because economically it does not make sense, right? Now, whatever I said that a chip which is not off the shelf available, something which is very unique to the needs of Indian consumers, right? I think the volumes are implicit in it because I know that I'm going to sell volumes, right? So if I just take that volume part, for granted, right? I think it is mostly going to be driven by, as I said, the unique needs of the Indian consumers, and what as a company would like to, So in case of Reliance, for example, right? We have launched products which are only to give the taste to the last mile telecom user, a taste of 4G and 5G, what it can enable, right? Of course, that depending on the product, it could be a 1 million unit and it could be a 10 million unit. It will be very application specific.
The second question was about job opportunities.
Jobs, right? I think, Srinivas, you can add later. I'll put the first few words. So I think your question was, hey, the demand is decreasing, and you see a lot of companies, not needing or laying off a lot of people, especially in the semiconductor industry.
No, that is temporary.
Okay.
I mean to say the next 10 years, 15 years.
Sure. So.
Which course students will be required in higher number.
Okay. So I think if you look at next, 10 years, let's say just stay at 10 years because 20 years, 2 decades will be too long. If you look at just be in the semiconductor space, let's say. So what is happening in the semiconductor space is, two. One is this industry is going to grow very rapidly. We are at $600 billion industry right now. All assumptions are that it would be a $1 trillion industry in 10 years or so from here, 8 to 10 years, right? Now, what is feeding into with the semiconductor, why it is going to grow? In my view, it is going to grow a little more faster than this. Because if you look at all the supplementary technologies that require semiconductor power, like AIs and MLs, these are going to actually accelerate this industry more than what we have seen at this point of time. So my, guess would be in a couple of things. One is be in the technology areas that are feeding and that are going to be making real impact, like AIs and MLs and quantum and so on. In the semiconductor space, there will be more demand required than the skills that we know of today, in India especially. So for example, there will be a lot of chemical engineers that will be required in this industry in the next 10 years, if I look at it. There would be a lot of metallurgical engineers that would be required in the semiconductor industry, especially in India. They are already available to some extent in the other parts where fabs are already there. So you will find some of the side engineering skills that would be required within the semiconductor industry. So in addition to being a design engineering, of course, being a technician in the fab, those skills, there would be other skills from the chemical, metallurgical, even handling of lot of chemicals, and how do we do, some of the manufacturing. I think if we have to focus, I would like people to focus on those skills. And that would be of high demand, especially with ATMPs and fab plants coming in. I think those would be some of the skills that would be in high demand and highly paid and highly accepted, I would say, in this industry.
Thank you. Thank you, JC. Sunita, anything to add? So then, okay. So then I'll do a quick summary. What I heard is that they would like us to do a lot of training because they see a lot of opportunities, but they need to do, the industry needs us to do training at a scale which we have not done before. So Semic's team, this is a small beginning. You got to work about 10 times harder now. But I couldn't think of a more welcome, a more heartening, and a more uplifting message. Let us thank our awesome panel, and with that, thank you all for being a good audience.
So first of all, thanks a lot for inviting me and Global Foundries to be, part of this discussion and also being part of creating this course, that we just inaugurated. So first of all, to IIT, special congratulations to you for leading it. And, thanks, Srinivas, for being a partner. I know we are one of your good customers, and we will, keep it that way. But beyond just that customer vendor partnership, I think this is a great relationship that we are forging here. And, of course, Ashok is a good friend from old time, and always good to see and, be part of these discussions, Ashok. I don't know if it is a coincidence or it was chosen that way, but today is a Guru Purnima, right? So I think this is, one of the good days to thank all the professors and teachers here for the great work they are doing. I'm sure all the students will definitely want to do that. So, thanks to all the professors and the teaching community especially. I take great privilege and pleasure in coming to educational institutes after I passed out of my college and university, because my relationship with professors was not that good. I was never this close to a professor during my student days and or studying days, and my scores speak to it why that was the case. So now I'm trying to catch up with all of that. So anytime you call me to an educational institute and to be part of the team with professors and talk to the students, I'm very happy to do that. And today I'm taking that pleasure once more. So the question that was asked of it, yes, Global Foundries, it is one of the leading semiconductor manufacturing companies in the world. And in the real sense, we are purely a global semiconductor company, because where our investments and where our foundries or fabs, as we call it, are, they are in US, in Europe, in Dresden in Germany, and also we are now collaborating with ST Micro in France. And of course, we have multiple fabs in Singapore. So in a global sense, if any semiconductor manufacturing has a global presence, it's global foundries. In India, we are almost a microcosm of what global foundries does worldwide, except for having a manufacturing plant. So in India, we do technology advancement or technology development for our fabs. This is a work which is one of the most complex and very high tech, as Mr. Ganguly spoke about it before. We do design work out of India. We also have IP development team, which does our own IPs, but we also support, we have 200 customers worldwide, and we support those customers through IP development for them. One thing I want to point out, which is very, very different than any company would be having in India, is we have a organization which is, we call it Virtual Fab. It's named because this organization supports all of our fabs worldwide, all the global fabs worldwide, sitting from here to make sure that these fabs are efficient, the yield is good, and also the technology development that is required in the fab can be supported out of here. And I'll just take 30 seconds to call out, Jay Shah leads that organization. He's here, Jay, if you want to, stand up. And we have Shrikant and Nimisha also sitting over here. And this kind of a work is very hard to do, number one. To be very frank, almost every companies would say, no, this cannot be done, where this is a 24/7 fab operation, fab technology support work, to be doing from India, where the fabs are not there. And this team has proven that this could be done, and we are going to be expanding this very much up to 100% more than what we are doing at this point of time. For India specifically, so all of these 4 functions, the technology development, the IP design work, of course the fab operations, today, even in 2023, we will be expanding by 30% plus just in India of all these functions. So there is a good expansion that we have taken as a charter from India. Apart from that, I think what we want to do is, I'll just take 2 more minutes because GF is new entrant. We are not as old as some of the other companies. This is actually the 8th year of GF in India. If I was not here today, or all of our colleagues will be celebrating the 8th anniversary of GF today. So actually we chose this as opposed to being in the office, and we moved the anniversary by a couple of weeks so that we could be here today. So in 8 years, I think we have done good technology work, but here is what we are going to be doing in the next 3 to 4 years in India. Some of it is, I have not even talked before this, and I have not even taken permission to talk to it, but I think this is something important, folks should know. So we want to be doing engineering excellence in 3 to 4 areas where we want to develop COEs. I think we are very, very close in few of them of becoming a COE, maybe 1 year, 2 years out. And maybe in 5 years, all 5 of them, we will have a center of excellence for GF in India. So these are in RF area, the silicon photonics, the auto, of course the fab, operational work we do out of here, and non-volatile memory. So these are the 5 COEs we want to, center of excellence we want to establish here. I think RF and maybe fab, we may be very close to becoming that very soon, and then rest, I think we have a charter that we have taken to go ahead with it. Second, what we want to do is we want to be the foundry of choice for all new fabless or fabless startup companies in the country. So that's one of the charter we are taking of, because I think the technology nodes that we work on, the additional technologies, the supplementary technologies that GF has, all of our startups, the fabless specifically, can benefit greatly from it, and we want to provide that opportunity and speed up their going to market faster, either for the local market or for the global market. The third, so one is the COEs, the second, the foundry of choice. The third one, we want to be the technical, commercial company to enable the vision India has of putting a fab in the country. I think that is the number 3 goal that we are taking. So to your question, I hope I answered, this is our charter where we are going as far as global foundries in India is concerned. I'll give you a generic answer on what I genuinely feel, what academia should train people on. Apart from the semiconductor knowledge, what you will learn in the course, if the academia can also help each of us, and I'm including myself because I need that help, how we can develop our independent thought process on subjects. Today we are, so much bombarded by the same WhatsApp news information and generic information that everybody has. How do we take that and create our own thought process and be, able to differentiate on what we can present either to the society or to our companies and so on and so forth. I think I would highly recommend somehow we try to do that. The second one I would say, how do we become dependable people? How the people sitting here can depend on me, how my family can depend on me or my friends can depend on me. I think that trait and the skill is highly not appreciated today, and that is very much needed in today's environment of where the social media, where the digital education is going on. And then last one, I would say there is no replacement to having the highest level of ethics and standards that you can develop. And sometimes, as a society, I will tell you, I will confess, I was not best at it when I came out into the industry to work from India. And I tell the students, I think the faster you can gain that, the faster you can go ahead as far as your careers are concerned. So I'm not giving you the technical answer, but those are the 3 things I'm genuinely very passionate about. Every student who is coming out should develop.
Thank you, Swaroop, and good afternoon to everybody. I should just repeat what Shrima said. It's great to be here. Just to put things in context, I just read somewhere that about 14 lakh students have just tried to be here, and I have a gate pass to be in IT, so definitely it's really great to be here. So yeah, I think to talk a little bit about what Reliance, and if I can just extend the same logic about the ilks of Indian large companies, right? See, Reliance is one of the largest technology OEMs in country today. All the devices which you see coming from Jio, whether it is mobile phones, set-top boxes, routers, some cool IoT gadgets, laptops, to name many of these, right? What it indicates that we have, it's been about 8 to 10 years, it started about 8 to 10 years back. We have come a long way to become a fairly competent system designers. Many of you would have been aware probably of the 5G infrastructure, which was built indigenously by Reliance. The entire technology stack, right from board, systems, softwares. Maybe the only abstraction level left is chipsets, right? So when you reach at the certain level of technology maturity, right, you end up dealing with semiconductors, right? You can't avoid, because that is the basis of all the technology which we see. And you also come to a stage where you realize that off-the-shelf semiconductors are not fitting in. You know, when you are doing those very unique devices for India, you know that even if you spend money, you would not get what you want. Or sometimes you have very less money to spend because you're making a device which will be in $3,000 and yet 5G enabled, right? Which can stream videos and, you know, have great displays, etc., etc. So I think that is where Reliance is today, and their interest in semiconductor is driven by these facts which I have just explained. And not only Reliance, right? I think to quote a number from a report which IESA has conducted, and I think JC was one of the guys who drove it. All of us know that we consumed about 34 billion worth of semiconductor in 2022. But what is very interesting that we have consumed $4 billion worth of semiconductors bought by Indian OEMs. And now that's a great news, right? Now all of them are not going to just buy what is available off the shelf, because as I said, say for example, when word is talking about EV to us means two-wheelers, right? And a 500 rupees fluctuation in the price means a lot, right? Then you would require something custom to be done, especially when about $100 per EV is the semiconductors BOM, right? So this is nascent, yet very, very exciting. Again, particularly in Reliance, we have been evaluating various entry points, various investment avenues which are synergistic to the need of Reliance. And as I said, we are not the only one. I think we saw Charan from Tata's talking about it. So I think all large Indian OEMs are right now at the same stage and pretty much trying to do the same thing. So I don't think that I have a very good answer of it, right? I think the need for talent in a country like India, where we have been supplying talent to probably we are the biggest exporter of talent, right? Is still a very big problem to tackle, right? And I firmly believe that quality breeds quality. I do not find anything wrong with the students, with the kids coming in the education system, right? And of course we can find fault with our education system. And rather than finding fault, I would say that we should look at what has worked well. Definitely something has worked well, that entire world comes to India to shop for talent, right? So it's not that everything is wrong what we have got, right? But I think one fundamental thing when I go to tier 2, tier 3 colleges, right? You would expect that students will come and ask for job, right? But invariably the teachers will come and ask for job. And if you talk to them, on paper they are getting salaries of 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, but in reality they are getting 25,000 rupees, right? Now here we have Udayan, sitting and teaching in IIT Mumbai. If he wouldn't have joined IIT Mumbai, he may be the CEO of a unicorn. Swaroop, you would have been probably done the MBA from Ivy League college. You would have been running a fund, right? Now people like you, right, who chose all that materialistic thing and came on this spiritual journey, teaching, I think there's a lot of credit goes to all this. I mean, I would like all of you to clap for the terrific teachers here, right? How can I take a Swaroop or a Udayan and do something that instead of you guys teaching few hundreds in IIT Mumbai, teach few lakhs across the country? I really do not have a very good answer of how to do it, but I think that is the biggest challenge, or I would say, if we somehow we manage to do it. Now you said that you can only teach 48 students, this present course, right? How to teach it to 48,000, right? I think something which we have to do to, train the faculty program, right? Now, but train the faculty doesn't happen with a 1 week workshop, unfortunately, right? I don't have a good answer, but that is what I would like to say.